Alright guys, welcome to the video. We're going to be doing an in-depth first clip of the Stardust 5-Dragon combo. Starting off, our opponent activates a Maxx C. We are going to be going turn 1. We have the Ash Blossom. Now our hand has both of the cards we need to search. Reinforcement of the army is super good to get that extra Junk Synchron, as well as Tuning's going to just basically get another bunch of Synchrons in the grave. Now, Junk Converter or Reinforcement of the Army are necessary for this combo to work. If you do not have that single card in hand for the beginning of the combo, it will not work, and you will see why soon enough. Junk Speeder, we're going to go through the 1 through 5 motion. Next up, we're going to start going one by one. We go Power Tool into Crystal Wing as our next target. Power Tool is going to show our 3 copies of Living Fossil. And then also another key point, if you draw any of your combo pieces, the combo is not available to you. A lot of these cards need to be activated a certain way, and you need a certain amount of cards to continue with the combo. There's the Converging Wills Dragon to bring out Omni Dragon. We don't need to activate that since we have Doppelwarrior, which luckily Doppelwarrior is the card we got out of all the combo pieces. If we would have got anything else, it would not have worked. Alright, there's our Doppelwarrior being special summoned, going into our first dragon, Majestic Star, or Shooting Majestic Star Dragon. Next up, we're going to summon both of those tokens. Both of those tokens are crucial. First one we're going to be using with Stardust Synchron to go into our Garden Rose Maiden to get our Black Garden card. Now, you have to be careful when you activate that card, because if you activate it at the wrong time, you will be stopping yourself from going into a 4th dragon. There is our Maiden. You have to summon Junk Converter off of that Maiden, else the combo isn't available, and that's where you stop from one of your dragon plays. Now, you use that Junk Converter to go into your second copy of Assault Blackwing Sahara the Rainstorm. The Sahara's effect's going to bring out another Sahara, and Junk Converter is going to bring out that Celestial Maiden, getting us access to our 3rd dragon. Also, this is the crucial point where you can activate the Black Garden to make sure you get your 4th dragon out. Revealing that, we're going to be summoning 2 tokens. That's all you need. If you have more than 2 tokens, you have less than 2 tokens, it will not work. There, you activate the Black Garden effect to bring back Garden Rose, and that's what your Living Fossil to bring out the Maiden. That's going to get you your 4th dragon. And now we have 4 dragons, and the Garden Rose second effect is going to get you your 5th, which is your Crystal Wing being returned. You could also play Stardust. Now, this is a prime example of why this deck isn't that insane. Lava Golem outed our first one. Our first negate being used on Change of Heart. Next up, Kashtira Fenrir. We're going to negate that summon. And Adventure combo, we're going to have to negate with Shooting Star. And that will end the game, because our opponent can fully play through it. But you see how close they were, outing almost all of our negates except for one. And if that was a good card, they could have stopped through this and continued playing. On to the next. Now I'm going to be showing you some different attempts, as well as different ways to make this work, and also ways that you can get stopped as well. Alright, there's the Junk Converter. So technically, we have all of the pieces we do need to go into this. Summoning our first Junk Converter, we're going to be going into the Junk Speeder. That is the main card that you're going to be using every single time to get started. Junk Converter effect also shouldn't have been activated. That is the first mistake I have made. You have to save that Junk Converter effect for later on. And we had to use it since our Quickdraw Synchron was gone, in my mind. Next up, we're going to be going into our Power Tool Dragon. Power Tool is going to also show us the 3 Living Fossils. You also notice that Arrival and Light in hand. Now this gets me thinking, should you also run the Stardust Illumination? But if you run the Stardust Illumination and Stardust Trail, that will cause turmoil in the consistency of this combo. You're going to see too many of your pieces and it's not going to work. All right, so there's the Doppelwarrior into your rotation. We're going to be going into our first piece, which I chose to go, which was Sahara the Rainstorm. Now we're going to tribute Quickdraw to bring out Doppelwarrior and Stardust Synchron. And we're going to go into shooting Majestic Star Dragon here. There's our Doppelwarrior. We accidentally do open the Rival in Light, but the Doppelwarrior is going to override it, which we did burn a free summon, but that's unfortunate, but we'll have to live with it. Now, this is where it gets funky. I was still learning, and Sahara the Rainstorm comes out. Now, that's not the precise way to do this, unfortunately, but we do bring out our Maiden still, and we're going to be able to get a second dragon out at least. There's Doppelwarrior. Getting out our Cosmic Blazar Dragon. Sahara the Rainstorm is going to bring back that card we just summoned, and we're going to go into an 8 here. We decide to go into Chaos Ruler. This is when I thought Chaos Ruler was necessary to the combo, but actually, surprisingly, this card isn't necessary whatsoever. You do not need to run this card in the deck anymore. And you will see in the deck list at the end of the video. We're going to go Living Fossil. We're going to use this effect to bring out 6 cards, go into a Stardust Charge Warrior, because we have really nothing left we can do because of the Synchron converter being used. Actually, we're going to have one more play. We're going to bring out Stardust Dragon with our Assault Synchron, making sure our Majestic Dragon has a little bit more negate power. Now let's see, our opponent is playing Raigeki. Our Stardust Dragon is going to be the card that saves us from the Raigeki, which is pretty crucial. It's an insane play. Stardust Dragon coming in from the 5Ds era, still being useful with that cool effect. And next up, he has the Field Spell, meaning that Planet Pathfinder was useless. I'm surprised he normal summoned it. It was a waste. No matter, we're getting rid of the Field Spell. He has the Kashtira tier limit in hand. We're going to let him mill here. He doesn't hit anything. He's going to try to negate our Chaos Ruler. Doesn't matter. We let him do that. We do get to bring Omni Dragon out, but he's just going to destroy it afterwards. And this game is as good as done because Shooting Majestic is still here, as well as protection from Stardust. We get to also draw a card, and that's when he decides that the initiative was too much for him, and he surrenders. Alright, this is a very good hand. We did draw the Arrival in Light, which is pretty good for us. There's Assault Synchron being able to be pitched for our Junk Converter here. He's got the Ash Blossom, but we also have the Crossout, so we're looking good. You also notice that Kaliga Crow in my hand. That was me figuring out what's the right matchup and right card advantage for you guys to get the most consistent Stardust 5 combo Dragon deck. Junk Synchron brings out the Junk Converter, and we go into Junk Speeder. He burned his Ash Blossom, meaning Junk Meter only has 1 out, and it looks like he doesn't have it anymore. Summoning our 5 cards, going into the correct order, Power Tool, and then Crystal Wing after you bring out the Arrival in Light spell card. There it is. We Synchro summon for 8, we bring out the Crystal Wing. We also draw the card activating the Converging Wills to bring out both of our cards. We're going to pitch that Crow to bring out that Doppelwarrior, because Doppelwarrior is 100% of the time a better card in this deck, because Kariga Crow doesn't bring out those 2 tokens that are absolutely necessary for the combos. There's Stardust Synchron bringing out the Doppelwarrior, and we're going into our technical first dragon, Shooting Majestic. Their names are complicated. I'm going to be messing up the whole video. There's Doppel and Stardust Synchron to go into Rose Maiden. Rose Maiden is going to bring out that Black Garden, which is a crucial card for the 4th dragon. Very complicated card. But you also notice we didn't have enough cards in hand since we had to burn it with the cards like Ash Blossom and our Crossout, meaning we don't have enough targets to go into our 4th dragon due to card advantage. Another insecurity of the deck, and I'm trying to teach you guys the greatest builds of Stardust and the greatest builds of every single deck. There's our Assault Blackwing, and also our Junk Converter is going to bring out that Maiden again. So at least we're going to get our 3rd dragon out. And we go into the 3rd dragon right away. Cosmic Blazer Dragon. Assault Blackwing's effect still going to proc, and we're going to try to go for it somehow. And unfortunately, it's not going to happen. There's our Crystal Wing, which is our 4th dragon. 4 out of 5. That's an 80%. That would be considered a C grade. Using our 1st dragon effect, we're going to negate that Dogmatika card, showing our opponent's kind of on a stally Dogmatika deck. He opened up with 2, and I really don't want to deal with that card, so you're gone. Activating a search spell, I'm going to use Shooting Quasar to get rid of that one. 2 cards, he has the Curry Divine Incarnate, but unfortunately that's not going to be enough due to our Crystal Wing Dragon and our card advantage. Now, since he activated that, we get to save our Shooting Majestic Star Dragon, which is crucial. He's going to take out our Crystal Wing, outing 4 of our dragons. But lucky for us, the dragon returns at the end phase, and that's going to clutch up our victory. We bring back 2 of our dragons. My apologies. And we have a few cards in our hands as well. We're going to choose to negate the Curry, but he's going to try to use our own Crystal Wing against us. It won't work. We're going to use our Blazar to protect it, and that's going to create lethal on board. Reinforcement of the army is going to bring out Junk Synchron, and that's when his opponent's going to surrender. Alright guys, another clip for you guys, opening up with the Junk Converter. Junk Converter, we're going to bring our 2nd Assault Synchron to hand. This is when I was playing 3 at the time, because I was still feeling out the process of what tuners and what build is the nicest. Well, there we go. Junk Speeder is officially on the board now, and we're going to summon 1 through 5. And we go through the process again, getting the Arrival in Light and going into the Power Tool Dragon. Power Tool Dragon's going to activate that handy dandy special ability to reveal 3 equipped spells. Never said they had to be different. So we're going to guarantee get our Living Fossil, and our opponent is going to surrender there, knowing we have legitimate full combo. On to the next game. This is when we were trying out the Stardust Illumination Stardust Trail combo, and you'd see it does not work in the deck, unfortunately. But let's continue with our combos, using our Converter and Synchron to get out Junk Speeder, the ace of trades of this deck. 1 through 5 is going to be summoned, and we're going to be going through the process once again. Arrival in Light, Power Tool Dragon, Arrival in Play is played, and we go into Crystal Wing. Arrival in Light showing off the Converging Wills. Jet Synchron plus that's going to equal Crystal Wing. And we're going to bring out 2 more monsters due to Converging Wills effect. Using Omni Dragon's effect also we haven't seen to bring out the search ability of the Doppelwarrior to get that card in hand so we can activate its handy dandy ability. Summoning the first Assault Blackwing the Rainstorm. Summoning Stardust Synchron, getting the Doppel, going into Shooting Majestic Star Dragon. Our first dragon of the combo. Next up, Doppelwarrior will bring out our first one. It's just going to be Garden Rose Maiden. And then we're going to use our handy dandy Jet Synchron effect in Graveyard to bring it out as well. Next up, we're going to go into that Rose Maiden. which will bring out a Junk Converter from the Shaman. I don't know why I've been calling him Maiden this whole time, but there it is. Going into our second dragon of the combo, Cosmic Blazar. You can summon these 12 dragons in any combo you like. And this is where I show you another mistake of the deck. This is where I play the Black Garden too early, making sure its effect isn't activatable, because I'm summoning more than 3. We summon 2 cards. It's going to cause 3 tokens, and unfortunately, we're not going to be able to bring out that Rose Maiden again. So we're going to be stopping on 4 dragons once again. There's Shooting Quasar. Black Garden's going to bring out another token. We're going to try to do something, but instead, since we messed up the combo, we're going to use the Black Garden effect to wall up our opponent's field, making them unable to summon any cards. And that's when our opponent surrenders, because they, assuming, didn't play any tribute monsters. Alright, very nice hand. As long as you open up that converter and any tuner, you're good to go. And you'll see a prime example of that right here. Luckily for us, we do have that Ash Blossom to stop the Maxx C, but unfortunately that's going to bring our card advantage down a little bit, meaning we might not have a chance to go full combo. And there's our converter going into Junk Spear once again. There's all 5 of our tuners, and we're gonna start going through the line I've showed you so many times. Power Tool, Arrival in Light, and then Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. With that, we're gonna go into it. Our one and only Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon, special summoning 2 cards with the Converging Will effect, as well as we're gonna ditch the Assault Synchron, but our opponent surrenders after that, and that's our game. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this is the final build of the deck I was using today. A lot of cool strategies, but it's very one-line reliant, meaning you can't use cards that aren't part of this strategy, and if you do, the strategy won't work as good. Prime example is Junk Converter, one of the level 2 non-tuners in this deck. If you do not open up with this card, you will not guarantee get 2. You will miss at least 2 out of 3 of your dragons. A next crucial card will be opening up with any of the tuners. You notice that Jet Synchron, Assault Synchron, and Stardust Synchron are at 2, and that's the reason is if you open those instead of letting your Junk Speeder summon the 1 through 5, it's going to cause a hiccup in the deck, meaning you're going to be bricked and you won't be able to do anything about it. Honestly, we're only playing Junk Converter and Maxx C as our only level 2 targets for Junk Synchron, and that's because if you don't open up the Junk Converter, pretty much your Junk Speeder line is the only thing you can do with Maxx C. Doppelwarrior, the only way you're going to get this card out is with the Omni Dragon Brotaur, but if you do open that card in your hand, you do have a significant chance of still going full combo. And the last card I want to bring up about the full combo line is Living Fossil and Black Garden. We are playing Living Fossil as a 3 of, unfortunately you have to, for the Power Tool Dragon ability, and that's going to cause a hiccup in the deck if it opens in your hand. That's why we're filling up the card to 40 with Upstart Goblin as a target as well. Black Garden is the same reason for the Living Fossil, but it's only at 1, so you're not going to see it as less. You're going to see it less often, as well as one card I almost forgot, Arrival in Light. Now there's a way to get around this, but it does cause a slight miscalculation in the deck, and that is Stardust Illumination, but I honestly prefer that build in an actual Stardust continuous synchro play instead of this direct deck for this combo. In your final end board, you should be having all 5 of the dragons, or all 4 of the last dragons on the board and you have the option of going Stardust Dragon or Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. Now, if you guys have any questions, you can leave them down below. I will be able to help, as well as I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys next time.